Hi everyone, Materim here again with Game 4 of Brawler's Bash. This is the first game of Day 2. Has my Ogre Kingdoms facing off against the High Elves of Mr. Chris Kane. Chris is a great opponent with a list that frankly scared the absolute tar out of me. So, hope you guys will enjoy this one. This one's a very simple scenario. It's just plain old blood and glory. Your only difference is that we're using normal battle line deployment, and the first person to get broken, their opponent earns 1,000 points, and the second person is 500. But other than that, the game goes on like normal. Alright, so my opponent's list starts with 2 bolt throwers up on the hill, then an eagle. In front of the eagle, he has a unit of 27 Lothran Sea Guard with full command. Next to that, he has a unit of 27 Phoenix Guard with full command in the Razor Standard. Next to that is the really scary unit, 36 White Lions with the Banner of the World Dragon. In with them is all of his characters, his General Aleth Einar, an Archmage with the Book of Hoeth, level 4 to the Lore of Shadow, a level 1 Mage with a Dispel Scroll and an Iron Curse icon to the Lore of Metal, and his Noble BSB with the Sword of Anti-Heroes and the Shield of Merwim. Then continuing on from that, he has a unit of 40 archers with full command. Up front is a unit of 5 Sisters of Avalorn. Then his third bolt thrower, and you can barely see an eagle right there on the edge in that forest. Then for me, I've got 1 Saber Tusk, my unit of Man-Eaters, the Ogre unit up on the hill, my larger Ogre unit with both of my mages in it, and the Lead Belchers. Now the Lead Belchers I'm looking at is really the only thing that's going to put a dent in that Banner of the World Dragon unit. But I still want to get my Hellheart close enough to it to pop it. Maybe I'll get lucky, suck a mage into the warp, maybe one will lose some levels. That's pretty much what I'm planning on. Other than that, I'm trying to aim for just get what points I can and don't come anywhere close to that White Lion unit if I can at all avoid it. Though I'm not entirely sure I can. But then you see I've got my Iron Guts here. I've got the Yetis in Conga Line because of the building. I don't want to not have them come in if I need them. Then I've got my Saber Tusk there on the end. And lastly, I have my Man-Eaters scouted up, hopefully to get at those bolt throwers and earn some points over there and stop them from shooting my big units. Those of you who watched the last battle report will actually notice that I'm still on the same table. So I managed to stay on table 10 after my big win against the Legions of Chaos. So I'm hoping here that at least with getting what little points I can that I won't fall any further. And maybe I'll do something big in the next one. So we go into Elf turn 1 as he wins the first turn. Or he uses his card to give himself the first turn, I should say. Not a whole lot of movement going on. First thing he just starts doing is opening up. He doesn't get any magic worthwhile, I don't believe. Unless... Yeah, I don't think this is magic. I think this is just him starting to shoot me and put holes into my bad guys. You can see here the bolt throwers do their job, putting lots of holes in Man-Eaters. I've only got this one guy with 2 wounds left on him, but luckily they are immune to psychology and they're not going anywhere. At least I thought they weren't going anywhere. After the bolt throwers were done, the Lothran Sea Guard that were right there opened up on him and finish him off. So I really don't have anything on this flank anymore, but frankly, the middle of the board is far more scary, so I'm not all that concerned. My opponent's just picking up points where he can. Hopefully, I'll be able to pick up enough points to make it to make out better than him, but we'll have to see. The other archers over here shoot at these ogres. They kill one and put 2 wounds on another one. When you're shooting that many times, you're just going to wound. Unfortunately, these guys were just out of range of my General and BSB, so they break and run to the point where you see them here. And then just when I think all of the worst is done, Aleth Einar opens up with his freaking moonbow bolt thrower thing, puts a bolt right down the center of my Iron Guts and finishes off 2 more of them. So that unit is not doing well. I'm really afraid now that I'm not going to have what I need to handle any of these units that are coming for me. I know I can't handle the White Lions, but now even the Phoenix Guard are going to really put a hurting on me. So I go into my turn 1, and I just need to get up in his face. This shooting crap is not going to do much for me. So I start moving forward. I need him to come a little bit closer. So I'm basically sacrificing the Yetis, giving an easy charge for his Phoenix Guard, but I have a method to my madness because my scenario card here gives me 500 points if I can successfully flee from something. So that's kind of what I'm setting up. You can see over here I keep coming around on this side. I'm trying to do some damage to those Sisters of Avalorn and get those points, so I need to move up within range. And I fail to rally the Ogre unit, and they run within a couple inches of the board edge. So then during my magic phase, I managed to get off a fireball against the Sisters of Avalorn and kill all but one of them, which is frankly unfortunate. I was hoping that the fireball would take them all out, and then I could use my other shooting against the eagle and some of the other threats over there. So, little disappointing, but at this point, I'll take any win I get. He did not obviously fail his panic, because he's right there near everybody. So then I use my man-eaters to go ahead and finish him off, or her off, I guess, since they are sisters, and get some points there, but nobody is either within range or fails their panic check. So I guess I don't know how many points the Sisters of Avalorn are. They're not much at that small a unit, but again, I'm going to take what I can get. And then here, the Leadbelchers let loose into the White Lions, which is the point where I learned that they apparently have this lion cloak thing, which gives them a ridiculous armor save against shooting, or non-magical shooting, so they don't really take much of anything. I think I kill 1 or 2 guys, and that's not with an insignificant number of shots. So at this point, I have completely run out of thoughts of how to deal with this unit. So we go into Elf turn 2. The Phoenix Guard charged the Yetis as I expected. I fled with the Yetis because they are conga line. They can get away and get where the Phoenix Guard can't go. They do run, clip my unit of Iron Guts, but I am Leadership 10 rerollable, so no panic there. Over on this side, the Eagle charged my Saber-Tusk, who turned and fled, but ended up rolling 4 inches, and the Eagle pretty easily caught him. Turns around to look at the flank of my man-eaters, which makes me nervous. I know the man-eaters will eat the Eagle, but last thing I need is him distracting me from the kind of concentrated fire I need to be doing to put any sort of wounds on these units. And then over here in the middle, during his normal movement, you can see he's kind of bringing things up, but my opponent is definitely cagey enough to realize what I was trying to do, offering up the Yetis. So he flies his Great Eagle over here to chaff up my Iron Guts pretty effectively. And again, by a miracle, I succeed in holding the magic phase down, so we go into shooting, and I think it's the Sea Guard here that just destroy this other Saber-Tusk I had hiding on this side of the board. Again, I was trying to sneak something up to the bolt throwers, but that's not happening. My opponent is pretty much aware of every trick I'm trying to pull and is doing a pretty good job at countering them so far. Then in the second here, more archer shooting. I think it's archer and bolt thrower combined. End up taking the lives of 2 more ogres out of this main unit. But again, I'm within my leadership bubble, so I'm not breaking. So we go into Ogre turn 2, and I basically decide I'm not going to play coy around this, because these little points may be all I'm getting. So I go ahead and charge the Iron Guts into the Eagle. I'm going to kill and reform them. I did succeed in rallying the Yetis, who have gone wide here. And I'm not sure why I put them wide, but I figure if the Phoenix Guard come in and destroy my unit, I can stall them up with the Yetis again. Over here, I do finally rally with these 2 poor ogres, so they are within 2 inches of the end of the board, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I may try and go after the Eagle, or may just hold them because they are a point of fortitude that my opponent hasn't gotten yet. So at this point I decide basically the only way I'm going to get the Hellheart up there is to just go for it. So I leave my gunners, or my lead belchers behind enough to shoot, and I send the ogres right in his face. I'm so close, he's got to take the bait on this, and I'll be close enough to pop the Hellheart. Maybe it'll cost me these ogres, but it might at least distract him enough for me to pick up some other points. Also move up the man-eaters and start targeting the bolt thrower on that side. I also bring up the Gorger behind the other bolt throwers. My man-eaters do me proud and manage to put the 2 wounds I need on the bolt thrower, so more points to me, yay. And the lead belchers managed to take off another 2 or 3 dudes out of this unit, which is, again, excellent. The less they are when they hit me there, the better. But we'll see if that ultimately matters at all. And then during combat, obviously the eagle dies a horrifically bloody death, and I reform to not give a flank or any weakness to the Phoenix Guard that are coming right at me. And I tell you, I'm very nervous about this. Anybody who's watched my channel before knows how much the High Elves get to me, and this unit in particular has given me terrible troubles, so I'm about ready to kiss my army goodbye here in the face of these Phoenix Guard. So, we go into Elf turn 3. Phoenix Guard charge into the front of my ogres. The White Lions charge into the Phoenix Guard into the front of my Iron Guts, and the White Lions into the flank of my ogres, and I'm thinking this is pretty much the end of the game here. And then here in the back, my opponent tries to complete his murdered ogre collection by sending this great eagle after these last 2 injured ogres at the back edge of the board. Then during remaining movement, with nothing really else for these Sea Guard to do, they start moving around the house so that they can come in on my flank and pick up the Yetis and whatever else happens to be fleeing once these big units break them. And the archers over here shuffle a little bit. I think they're trying to get good shots at the man-eaters. Not really sure where they're going for there. So then during the magic phase, I trigger the Hellheart. And unfortunately, due to the Banner of the World Dragon, all it nets me is 1 level 1 mage who is sucked into the warp, and 2 dead White Lions. But I'll take it. The level 1 mage is points. And then during shooting, this bolt thrower turns around and tries to plunk some shots into the Gorger, and both bolt throwers try and shoot him and only do a combined total of 3 wounds. So he's still alive and is still very likely to be able to kill both bolt throwers at this point. And so then we go into combat, and my Iron Guts decide that they ain't going out like bitches. My General and BSB step up side by side with the Champion and character wall the Phoenix Guard. Thanks to a little bit of lackluster rolling and me frankly just getting lucky, he can't do much. He's done wounds to everything but doesn't kill anything, and I unleash the beast all over those night elves or knife ears, and he ends up getting beat down to the point where he's like, we both have 2 ranks, like he's not even steadfast anymore. So he needed a 5 rerollable, something like that. It was something very low. Maybe it was less than that. But either case, he did not make it. The Phoenix Guard turn and break, and my Iron Guts run them the hell down. And I tell you, I about let out a cry at this point. I just didn't want to disturb the other people playing around us, but this put my heart and soul back in the game. This is why I love the Ogres. Even when I think they're down and out, they step up and show me that they know how to put a boot in somebody's ass. And, This is the kind of games you play for. I thought I was totally screwed, and now I got a chance, though the White Lions still haven't gone yet. But not to be outdone, my normal ogres show their stuff as well. My Firebelly steps up to take one for the team. He dies so these others can live. My Slaughtermaster's 4-up ward save. I was rolling like a boss, and no one managed to kill him. As you can see, though, the unit got depleted, so I needed double 1s to break, or not to break, and I broke, but because of where my Iron Guts were, my opponent did not follow. So, looks like I skipped it. I might have skipped some pictures. This is obviously after combat on my turn. The Gorger charged one of the bolt throwers, easily killed it, and continued on into the second one. And because I didn't want to push my luck, I didn't do anything else other than run up the Yetis to try and block for me as I get my units the hell out of the way of those white lions. And so we go into elf turn, and the eagle comes in to deal with my ogres. Now, I haven't fought a whole lot of giant eagles. Michael hasn't used them much yet, so I'm really not sure what my chances are here, but my ogres are pumped, and we'll see what happens. So you see here, I have succeeded in rallying everything, and the elves come in hard. The white lions go after the yetis because they have absolutely nothing to fear from them because the yetis' attacks are magical. And in a kind of surprising turn of events, the archers charge at my ogres. I guess he's thinking they're still easy pickings, but my fat boys are going to very least stand up for what they believe in. I think I have troll guts up on them too, my last magic phase. So it's at this point that the Sea Guard here realize something has gone horribly wrong with their plan, and they turn around to get some shots off at the Iron Guts. So during magic phase, the only thing my opponent managed to do was miscast and lose himself 2 levels, which is super awesome. So we go straight into shooting, and the Sea Guard put, I think that's 2 wounds on one dude in the unit there. With all of their shots. So I'll take that for what it's worth. I need to just get that unit the heck out of Dodge. Maybe I could take the Sea Guard. I just need to make sure I don't get murdered by the White Lions. Over here, some wounds have been taken, but my ogres give it back hard to the archers. I think I kill 8 or 10 of them from the look of it. And that's not a big deal. They're going to be steadfast forever, or so they think, because I have a perfect flank charge with my lead belchers, and I'm going to run them right the heck in there. And I can even clip the side with the man-eaters, so maybe I'll do that too, is what I'm thinking at this point. And pretty much as assumed, Yetis die horribly to white lions, and they reform. This way, on the plus side, they can't stop me from getting into the archers, but it's pretty certain they're going to come into my flank once I do. But I think the lead belchers are willing to make that sacrifice to destroy some more elves, because frankly, it's been a lot of fun doing it so far. And up here at the top, the Gorger kills the last bolt thrower, and because he overrun to get there, he can't overrun again, so he turns and stares at the flank of the Sea Guard. And not to be forgotten, way in the back, the Giant Eagle kills the standard bearer from that unit, and my champion, I think, puts 1 wound back on it, but I think I lose, but it's not by much, and I do not end up breaking, so that's going to continue on next round. So on this side, I decide to get right up in the Elves' face just to be intimidating. I didn't have them in line of sight this turn, or I would have charged, but at this point, unless they back up a crazy amount, they're not going to get a stand and shoot reaction, which I'm just as happy with. And the Gorger is still there, prepped to make a charge into the flank when the Iron Guts go into it. And here is the beautiful teamwork that I've come to expect from my ogres, as the man-eaters and the lead belchers complete their charge into these archers. And, well, let's just put it this way. It's going to be a bad day for knife ears. I do have troll guts up on this entire group at this point. I think I get it up again during my magic phase, but I'll have to see. So we go into combat, and my champion from the ogre unit puts the last couple of wounds on the bird and gets me some more points. So awesome. Now you're going to hide there and hopefully be alive by the end of the game. And yes, now that I see the picture, not only did I get troll guts on in that bubble, I also got the strength buff in that bubble. So needless to say, with those kind of bonuses, I take a few wounds in that Ogre brick that my Slaughtermaster is in, but the rest of everything I have just absolutely butchers those elves. They're slaughtered to a man, and or not slaughtered to a man. There's a few of them left, and they break, and I run them down, and the man-eaters catch them. So over here we go to the Elves' turn, and he ends up putting. I think last turn he put a ballistic or a weapon skill debuff or something on them from Shadow, maybe Melkoth's. But he really isn't moving. He knows what's coming on this end, so he's just going to fire. He's having to reform to go after my stuff. He tries to charge the. Yeah, he didn't reform with the white lines. He tried to charge my Slaughtermaster unit, and they fled. Nothing else is in his line of sight. So this is actually after my turn, as you can see. And this is where I feel bad for my opponent, because I kind of forgot for a moment that this was Brawlers and points are all that mattered. I scattered so he couldn't get to me. I was really running afraid for him. And over here, I didn't show the charges, but I do send the Gorgers and the Iron Guts in there. We beat up those Sea Guard pretty bad, and they break. And I do not catch them, but I believe it's my turn next. Yeah, because it's on there. I must have sent them in last turn. Yeah, sorry about this. It's a little confusing. Missing pictures is bad, but... and so here you see what's left. Top of my 6, I end up charging with both units and chase the archers, the Sea Guard off the board. So all he's got left is about half of that main unit, and I've got just about everything. He's done some damage to a lot of stuff, but not enough to claim a heck of a lot of points out of it. And because we both sort of kept points away from each other, we didn't do great. I think I had about 2,000 points in this, but my opponent only got about 700. So another win for me, but not a very major one, and it is going to make me slide down a little bit, because apparently this was a round of super major wins for everybody else. So when the final game comes on, I'm going to be facing Dwarves on table 13. So hopefully all my practice against Michael will help me there, and hopefully you guys will stick around for the next battle report. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or anything, leave them below. I'll be more than happy to get to them. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.